It is my honor to bring the second annual animation dance party to everybody here at LightBox Expo. Please join me in welcoming Mike Morris.
Hi, everybody. How you doing? I am super excited to bring to you all the new animation dance party. We decided just not to call it animation dance party like we did last time, so we went with the theme of neon space disco.
Yeah, we
to
had
kind
to
of
pump it
change it
up a
up a
little
bit.
bit. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, Mike, we started Animation Dance Party. I would say we started it maybe 8 years ago
Yeah.
because you came to me while I was still just new here at Wacom and you said, I have an idea. The idea is I'll do a contest and it's a dance contest and it's an animated dance contest. And I said, that sounds like a great idea. And then I think I moved off that business and we went our separate ways for a minute. And then about 5 years later, I said, Mike, I am ready. Let's do the animation dance competition. And you said, I still have the idea. Let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah, the first time we did it, it was less than favorable.
What do you mean? Oh, the
I
first
think, yeah,
contest.
the very first one 8 years ago.
Yes.
That one I think we had like 10 entries.
Yeah.
And so it didn't really catch on quite well, but it was the first time.
It
And
was the first
then
time.
the last time we did it in 2019 was a lot more successful, and we had a both a virtual dance party and an actual dance party
Yes.
in Pasadena.
Yes, at the very first Lightbox. And
Yeah.
we decided we would hire a DJ and that we would have a literal dance party. And so we got to the big ballroom and we had been taking submissions for days and days. And
Mm-hmm.
there were people and we were all waiting to dance, to boogie our little hearts out. And then what happened, Mike?
Oh my goodness, we had rendering issues. So, due to the nature of animation dance party, so what we do for it is we solicit dance cycles between 24 and 48 frames, 24 frames per second with transparent background, and there's other specs that are involved too. But we composite those all into one big film, right? We make a little short introduction, our intro into the actual dance floor, and then sort of transition out into credits and what have you. Speaking of which, the credits for this one are still rendering. So it's animation dance party tradition because the first time we had it, our film was still rendering while everybody was partying.
Yes. Yes, it was a
So
little bit sweaty. We were a little sweating. The big computer you had churning out whatever it was doing for hours
yep,
and hours behind the scenes.
absolutely.
Yes. And then we announced the winners and I did a little crying because it was so many years in the making to have everybody out there and to be able to give prizes to all the people. How did it feel to see your dream, Mike, in the flesh with hundreds of people watching you?
Oh, I thought it was great. It's always nice to get a project off the ground, um, and see it sort of take shape. I mean, in this one, it was no different. I think this year we really tried to put in a lot of effort in the front end, and shout out to my incredible crew who worked on it. So if I can just be so bold as to take a moment just to name our crew.
Do it.
So this year's animation dance party crew was Laura Frankie, Ben Halstead, John Castellanos, Brittany Consuegra, Annie Bearden, Leanne Schmidt, Daniel Whalen, Vinod Krishnan, Christina Halstead, Vane Flores Castellanos, and Kat Jackson. So we had a great crew that was probably one of the most dedicated crews I've ever worked with. We were busting for the last month on getting all this done, and I think it really shows when you guys get to see the final film in a little while. But yeah, it's I guess it's kind of animation dance party tradition now to have a render that's not quite done but is
Yes.
getting done as we're talking.
Yep. And I have to say that from Wacom's side, that there's a lot of familiar names in that list that you mentioned. I recognize a lot of people from the last animation dance party, some winners there, Laura Frankie, right? And then a
Yep.
lot of folks from Cartoon Crunch. I heard Annie Bearden and a handful of others from our Cartoon Crunch crew. So
Yes.
it sounds like the animation dance party team is evolving, and also a lot of people who are winning Wacom contests and people who are Wacom is sponsoring, and that the whole thing is brought to you by Wacom. Yay,
Well,
Wacom.
yay, welcome. All right. Well, in fact, one of this year's judges for Neon Space Disco is Dane Romley, who was
Hey.
first place in the last animation dance party. He won with a very awesomely animated funky dance with this guy that so if you want to see what Dane had done, go to the last animation dance party. It's on Wacom's YouTube channel, and you can see this little guy with a baggy pants and a beanie, and the animation is ridiculously good. So we brought Dane on as a judge this year.
Well, with that, Mike, do you want to take us through who our judges are?
Yeah, let's introduce them. All right.
Okay.
Sarah Jean, let's switch to the 5-up. Great. So first of all, just to wave or make a motion or say something, call you so that people know who you are. First of all, we have Mr. John Quinn, Miss Elsa Chang.
Hi.
And the aforementioned Dane Romley.
Hello.
So you guys, we got 104 entries this year, and you saw them all. What we do generally in this contest is we have 3 different criteria on which we judge all these dance cycles. And having 4 judges this year, we tried to get it as large of a spread as possible to try not to come up with duplicate numbers. So each judge is allotted 30 points per dance cycle, right? So the first thing we judge on is character design. The second thing we judge on is technical animation ability. And the third is entertainment value. Each of those being assigned 10 points. So would any of you guys like to talk about like what happened when we were judging the other night?
I was surprised that, I mean, in terms of character design, sometimes I was maybe not as excited about the design, but loved the color choices. So I was kind of surprised to myself that how many points I would give just based on color choices, as opposed to being purely about the drawing with the design of the character.
Well, John is a extremely capable production designer and character artist.
And they're all really fun to look at.
Yeah, there were some really surprisingly entertaining ones that I was not expecting at all. So when I clicked onto those very unique, fun ones, it was a very nice surprise. But it was really nice just seeing just the number of entrants there were, and you can tell like a lot of people had a lot of fun with it. So that's really exciting to see.
Yeah, the range of styles and the range of approaches was really fun.
Any surprises? Sorry, Mike, I'm jumping in now. Can you each of you go through and tell us what surprise you found? Elsa?
Of like particular submissions, or
Yeah, or anything that surprised you before you jumped in. You had some expectations and then you got into it. What were you surprised by?
well, some of them were extremely funny. Like they would just kind of take me off guard a little bit, and it was just something I wasn't really expecting. Others were technically done very well, and others there was like a combination of both of those.
All right, Dane, what surprises did you have?
Oh gosh, some of the things that the animators came up with, I don't want to spoil anything. It was just nothing I could have ever predicted. I mean, that's the nice thing about giving people like the freedom of like, oh, come up with a dance cycle. And then the stuff that some of them came up with, I was definitely very, very pleasantly surprised. So I'm very happy that people like really like went with it and kind of went extreme in some cases.
John, what surprises did you have?
Well, I'm really nerdy about this stuff, and I love to watch the stuff that pops up on the 11-second club, and more, obviously, people are animating in the computer. So one of the things that surprised me was how much of the work we saw was drawn. There was one or two stop motion pieces, which were really neat. And, you know, there was a handful of computer animated things as well. But I was surprised at how much of it was about drawing and design.
Mike?
Which, you know, it was refreshing to see that.
Mike,
I
what
was
surprises?
blown away. I mean, I would be at my computer and, you know, check it throughout the day a couple times. And as more and more were rolling in, I was not only blown away by all the different styles and different types and different animation techniques, but I started kind of sweating a little bit because I was like, how are we going to fit all these submissions onto one dance floor? I started to be like, all right, stop. But I'm so glad that we got as many submissions that we did. We got 104, and all of them different, all of them unique, all of them reflective of the individual artist. And I think that's a beautiful thing to see people doing something that is genuinely uniquely them. You know, I think a lot of the times as artists, we sort of have these influences that we're constantly chasing after. And, you know, I've said this on a couple of streams with Wacom before, but it's the hardest thing to me as an artist to get down to where you are, you know, to get to, because I think we learn through the technique of others. Like we'll see somebody who's done great art and be like, oh my gosh, that's awesome. Like, you know, you can't see it past my thing, but I have a Milk Call poster on my wall, which I find very inspirational. And other people that I've, you know, had influence of over time. But getting to how you see the world, your unique vision, your worldview is difficult. And I think with something like this, where you give people an open-ended canvas, where they're not saying, well, you know, we're making a Cartoon Network show, so this should look like a Cartoon Network show, draw like Cartoon Network or Disney or Warner Brothers or whoever. And this is just like, just do a dance. Doesn't matter what. It can be whatever and whoever. It's a little piece of you. And I think that's something that's really quite not only interesting to me, but I'm all for people being able to have their own artistic voice. I think it's necessary.
Any feedback or ideas, this team of pros, any feedback or ideas you have for people who are just getting into animation, or people who perhaps that was their first dance cycle that they had ever animated? Do you guys have any tips or advice to keep pursuing the craft of animation?
Well, just do it. I mean, as corny as that is to say, just roll up your sleeves and get in there. I mean, I didn't see the last year's submissions, but Mike was saying that, oh, this person was submitted last time, and you can see great improvement in the work that they're doing now. So I think just there's so many challenges when you're trying to create animation, and then to get it to loop and for it to be a dance. I mean, there's so many challenges here. You just roll up your sleeves and get in there and do it. And even if you don't do a great job, you're still learning from that experience.
Nike is going to send you a check for $20 too, John.
John's going to have to send Nike a check for $20.
Yes, sorry. Yeah.
Elsa, what advice do you have?
I agree. Just you know, keep going at it. What I like to do is I always try to one up myself from previous years, whether it's with like the technical aspects of it or just design wise. I always try to find a way to find something to improve on, and then so that when I look at it all together from all the previous years to the most recent, I can see like the visual improvements of my work, and that's always really gratifying.
Good. Dane, as last year's winner or 2 years ago's winner, what advice do you have to dominate the competition?
Basically to just have fun with it. Don't worry so much about like what the judges are going to think, what other people think. Just do what you like. And that's why I was really surprised. Some of these, when they see the whole thing, some of these are just so bizarre, but they're so fun. And it's like, it's that for me is what's exciting, is like the technical stuff and seeing it, something really nicely designed or animated is nice, of course, but I like seeing the ideas, the crazy outlandish ideas people have. And that's what I really, really like. So stuff like this is great to do. Like when I did it a couple of years ago, I did it without even thinking about winning. I was just like, oh, I like doing animation cycles. Here's a dance one. It's a great challenge because not only you have to do a dance cycle, you have to do it to a specific beat. So you have to make sure your timing, and then it has to be just fun. And then this one with this group of 100 plus entries, some of them were just a lot of fun. And so that's what I encourage, because that's what animation should be. Animation should just be fun. It shouldn't be you're doing it for anybody else, but because you like doing it. So that would be my biggest tip.
All right, have fun.
Yeah, I think Dane, you hit something on the head there. As far as like you being interested in something as a person, like a lot of us, we got into animation just for the love of it. And, turns out some people can make a living at it, and that's awesome. But that's not necessarily why we started doing it, because we just wanted to,
Yeah.
And I think it's a telling thing when you have nothing else to think about, what are you thinking about? And if you're making cartoons, then in your head, when in your off time, I think that's a good indication that you may have a love for it.
Well, Mike, I think that there's probably a lot of people on YouTube who are dying to know if they've won this whole thing.
Yeah, we should make them wait for another 30 minutes.
Why? No, don't do that.
Aw.
No, people want to know. So, Mike, tell us, get corporate for a minute.
Okay.
First of all, tell us what technology you use to make the whole thing happen.
Okay. Well, first of all, let's do a little blast from the past. Okay.
Okay.
So, for time immemorial.
Uh-oh.
You lost your mic.
Mike, your mic is out.
Is that better?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so this thing has this dumb little like volume control that is gigantic, and the button on it for mute is huge. And so whenever like I lean over or something hits it, just mute instantly, and it is a real pain in the butt. Anyways, so this was what last year, or 2019's Animation Dance Party was rendered on. This MSI computer, affectionately known as the Beast, because it's huge and it's awesome. However, this year, and for the winner, they will get a system very, very similar to this one in my hand. This is Beast Junior. Hold on, you can't really see Beast Junior very well right now, but Beast Junior is much more slick, much more refined, and a whole heck of a lot lighter without losing any of that punch. And honestly, like in the middle of the night when all of this stuff was rendering, I don't think we would have had a film to show today had it not been for this is a creator series from MSI. And I am bummed that I'm going to have to give it back because it was just a loaner for the show. So I'm just like, is there any way that this can get lost in the mail? But don't give me ideas, Melissa. Don't do it.
The Wacom team is behind the scenes, passed out cold now. Yes.
Well, yeah, that's all right. It's they deserve it. But yeah, I was very consistently impressed with not only the performance of this, it's the Z16 model, I think, but also that in conjunction with Harmony 21, because we were rendering everything through Harmony 21. And oh my gosh, like talk about an awesome experience. I had this one plugged into, you know, basically I'm using the same setup that the first place winner is going to get, like their own like mini animation studio, essentially. Harmony 21, the MSI laptop, and a year's worth of Harmony and Storyboard Pro, and then a Cintiq 24-inch Pro. So
Cintiq Pro 24. Yes.
Yeah, excuse me. Cintiq Pro 24.
Yeah, get it right, Mike.
I had my syntax absolutely wrong on that one.
Yeah.
Okay, so
God.
no, you're okay. So I'm the representative of all things corporate here. So Cintiq Pro 24, the Z16 Creator Series from MSI. Yep. And then
I think a lot of people sort of discount the power of laptops, but I think they're getting better and better all the time.
Yes.
And this one gave my desktop a run for its money, and my desktop is non-insignificant.
Yes. And then of course our wonderful, wonderful friends at Toon Boom. They are amazing people. So Harmony, Storyboard Pro, they're all just love to Toon Boom. They're so good. So thank you, Mike, for the corporate plug. Are you ready to show the final? So what we're going to do is show the final, right?
Yes.
Yes,
Yes,
we're
we're
going to
showing
show
the final. Well, this is actually a rough cut because we have the credits rolling, and the credits are going to show everybody's dance cycle next to their name, so we can all see who did what. And that just finished rendering, so I'm going to try and get Sarah Jean, our technical expert, the credits, and hopefully we can get that. But I say roll footage. Let's see what we've got.
You ready, Sarah Jean?
Hopefully it plays without a ton of lag, because
All right. That was a crowded dance floor.
Yeah. So our technical supervisor, Ben Halstead, was working on setting this up. Between the two of us, we set up that dance floor in Storyboard Pro and Harmony, and it was a bit to build, but I think it worked really well. And he was like, "I'm running out of room on this dance floor," because we did it in 3D this year. Last time it was just a 2D drawing, but this year we decided we wanted to do a full 3D dance floor so we could have some good camera movement all through it, that we could get in and out and through all of these amazing dance cycles. And we really tried hard to make sure everybody, got a little moment in the sun as far as seeing their dance cycle on screen, because I don't know, to me, I feel like it's when you're coming up in animation, when you're participating in things like LightBox and things like these Comic-Cons and various things, it's always awesome to have that little bit of validation to like keep going, because I don't know how it was for you all coming up, but I remember, one of the reasons I feel like Animation Dance Party is so important and so like interesting and special to me is I remember doing contests when I was younger where, growing up in a family of 7 children, we didn't have a lot of extra cash to go around, and, drawing supplies get expensive. And so whenever I had the opportunity to go out and try and earn something through my own efforts, I was all over that. And I think that's one of the things that really kind of drew me to this idea of doing dance cycles and people submitting is to give people an opportunity to get the equipment that they need in an ever increasingly digital world. Stuff that gets prohibitively expensive sometimes. And if you can earn that through your own talents and your own ability and your dedication to your craft, I think that's really awesome. And I have just been blown away consistently by all of our partners, Wacom, Toon, MSI, that they're willing to, put forth that stuff and donate it. Oh, there we are.
There you go.
I'm back. Okay. Did you miss like all of that? Have I just been talking into nothing for the last little while?
No, you got it under control. There was
okay, cool.
10 seconds, baby.
10 seconds. So yeah, I've just been blown away consistently by our sponsors' generosity and their willingness to support artists, Yeah, and it's important to them. Absolutely important to them.
Mike, I'm hearing from the chat that they want to see it again. Sarah Jean, how easy is it to queue up that video one more time? Okay. All right, let's do it. All right. Well, Mike, I think that there's probably a lot of people there who want to know if they won or want to celebrate all the awesome winners. Do you want to start introducing?
You don't want to make
winners?
them wait a little bit longer so they actually stay till the end of our
This
panel?
This is the difference
Okay,
between
yeah,
the two of us, Mike. I am impatient. Like, let us get the people the prizes.
I know, but yeah, I love a good cliffhanger too. Like
I feel like
why do people watch? Okay, for instance, why do people go to watch horror movies? Right?
I don't watch horror movies, Mike.
For the suspense.
No.
For the suspense. You watch horror movies for the suspense. You watch thrillers for the suspense. Okay. Well, if that's the case, we're ready to announce the winners. Then let's do it.
Yay.
Sarah Jean, let's first of all, before we do that, I'm going to just say thank you to all of you who submitted. You guys are incredible. Again, I was blown away every morning when I saw more and more and more submissions roll in. And even when some of the technical parameters weren't quite met exactly how they needed to be, people were like, all right, done, I'll do it. They were all in on getting their submissions in and getting them fixed and getting them into a good shape. So the artistic community has really, you know, restored my faith in humanity, really. And and yeah, so first of all, each judge is going to take a lap on who the winners are. So I'm going to start with our honorable mention. Sarah Jean, could you play our first little animated GIF? So honorable mention goes to Alex Isla. So you will be receiving a Wacom Intuos Pro Medium. Dane is going to announce. Yeah, everybody give her a hand. I think that's really cool. And actually, coincidentally, Alex Isla was the first dance submission that we got this year.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, if this is the bar that's been set, then we're in good shape.
Congratulations, Alex.
Congratulations.
Sarah Jean, can we do the next one?
Good number.
Third place.
So third place goes to Sean Bartlett.
Well done, Sean.
Yeah, very well done.
Third place wins a Wacom One, as well as a year subscription to Toon Boom Harmony, which is
Congratulations, Sean.
no small thing.
No. Wacom One can also be plugged into a phone. Android phone. Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Which,
yeah, you could have a little mobile Wacom device there for about $400.
Wow.
Second place.
Second place goes to Psycho-san.
Yay.
yay, Psycho-san. Okay, so for our winner, our first place winner, is going to get the whole deal.
Wait, what does Psycho-san win? Did we say what Psycho-san wins?
Psycho-san is going to win a Cintiq 16 Pro and a subscription to Harmony and Storyboard Pro for a year.
Nice.
Well done.
Well done.
So sorry, Mike, you were saying the winner gets?
The winner gets the Cintiq Pro 24. I'm not saying that right, am I?
Mm-mm, no.
No. Okay.
Not
Keep trying.
Not-
Cintiq Pro, and then whatever number. Cintiq Pro 24.
Cintiq Pro 24.
Right.
This particular person is also going to get a laptop from MSI, a Prestige Series 15, and also a year subscription to Harmony and Storyboard Pro.
Yay! And
So this year's winner is, take it away, John.
Please forgive me if I'm butchering your name. Anastasia Platoshnia?
Anastasia Platoshnia.
Platoshnia, sorry.
woo!
Congratulations.
Well done. Beautiful work.
Yeah, it was really really great to see everybody's work, and there was some really awesome animation in there. So that brings me to something that we had talked about before this, like looking at these dance cycles, what was that thing that made them stand out to you? Let's start with Alex Isla with her lovely little alien girl.
Oh, yeah.
And first of all, the design is just very appealing. A nice use of color and shapes. And then the dance too, which is very unique. It's a nice little bounce, and then this really nice leg swirl she's got going, and a nice little kind of light trail. Just it's very refined and just really appealing.
Yeah, the animation is really solid, but all of the little extras, the rim lighting, the special effects, all those things really add to it. But you could strip all that stuff away, and the design and the animation are really solid.
Yeah, I
Everything
love
from like the, oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go, please.
I was gonna say I really like the little special effects, the swoosh, and the way that the skirt was animated.
Yeah, beautiful work. Well done.
Cool. All right. Let's talk a little bit about Sean Bartlett's entry. What stood out there to you guys?
I like the gap in his teeth and a big smile. This guy's having a great time. Glow sticks. Can't beat it.
Yeah, this one just has a lot of personality to it, and a lot of character to it. It also cycles very, very nicely. All the secondary animations work very, very well. Everything from the tufts of hair, and even the little collar has a little bit of motion to it. And the way he's spinning the lights, also very, very, very smooth, very well done.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to look at. The costume is great. I love the little headband with his hair sticking out on top of it. And yeah, the glow sticks aren't too distracting, which I like, and it's really fun.
One of the things that
I'm guessing for Toon Boom and Rigged as well, so I was really impressed by that. Not just
oh yeah,
all the work that went into just preparing this in order to be animated. Sorry about that.
Oh, it's okay. I know I really appreciated how just amazingly smooth the animation was. There's no hitches in it. I looked for them too. Like I like to be able to spot you know, when an animation is hitching, and when it's got like a little you know, inconsistencies in it. And with Sean's work, I didn't find a single one.
No, very, very, very smooth.
All right, cool. What about Psycho-san? What was the thing that drew you guys to Psycho-san's work?
Well, again, the drawing is just so spot on, and then all of the little visual goodies of the follow through at the top and the play with the shadows, and you know, visually, it's just it's a feast. It's really beautiful.
Yeah,
I think
visually,
it's just oh, go ahead, Dane.
Oh, I was just gonna say, visually, it's just, I mean, it's just amazing, and you can just almost just look at it for hours. I mean, there's so many little nuances, like even the little wobble in the skateboard when the character hops up. I mean, all these nice, really, really nice, fine little details, and it's all, again, just it's all very, just all very smooth and almost like hypnotic.
Yeah, I really like the character design, the way the hair flows, the bounciness of it, and the shadows. The colors are great too.
You know, one of the things I think that makes an effective dance cycle is not only knowing your technical skill and your character design skill, but how to blend those things together. You know, like I think one of the things that stood out to me for all of these entries is that they kind of knew where their cycles were going into. Like, especially I think Anastasia's brought that sort of, she really took the idea of neon space disco and brought it into a character. You know, the timing was really good. The animation was fluid. It was entertaining to look at because of that, you know, kitty sass that was going on. There were little effects that she put in there. Sarah Jean, if you wouldn't mind putting that one on the screen, if it's not already on the screen. Okay, great. So, I mean, you can see that Anastasia really put a lot of thought and time and care into this dance cycle because, I mean, not only is the design pretty darn impeccable, the animation is technically efficient, and it brings that life into it that I think makes for a really successful dance cycle.
Yeah, and the design of it is really appealing. I like the shapes, the proportions, even the textures are really great. And they work really well.
This is a good example too. I mean, all of them are good examples of where more complicated the design or more complicated the animation doesn't necessarily make it quote better. Like this one, I saw she's one. She's just, it's so visually appealing because of the very simple shapes, very bold colors. Like that pink hair really stands out. I really like the subtle blues and the gloves and the pants and little things like little star that pops up when she does her little sash and little smoke that comes up from her feet to indicate, you know, like a little bit of quick movement. It's simple, but it's just very appealing. Just everything's very appealing. The poses, the timing, the sassiness in the face, everything. So it's just all very well done.
Agreed. All right, so let's take some questions from the chat. If we have any questions, just go ahead and let us know, Melissa.
Yeah, there's some questions about the different styles. I think that one of our chat viewers said, his name is Writing Graboids. He says, with all the differences in styles, how do you break it down?
How do we break it down?
Yeah, and
well, we drop a funky beat first.
That's right. You got to have that beat. No, I think maybe it's about like, how do you select a winner when there's so many different styles? You know, you're not going for the best, I don't know, dragon or whatever. You're going for the best dance cycle. And among that dance cycle, there's all kinds of different styles there. So how did you choose among many that are all technically very good, but might have different styles to them? How did you choose?
Well, I think one of the biggest things that when I was thinking about, well, who am I going to get for judges this year? We had a pretty good spread last year, but I try and choose people that have sort of like, in my view, sort of a specialty. Like, for instance, Elsa is a spectacular character designer. John is an incredible production designer, and Dane is an awesome animator. So that would kind of gave us a good blend of people that had different tastes that could speak to each of the criteria that we were judging on. Sometimes it comes down to personal taste. I'll give a quick shout out to Xavier Green and Wendy Thompson, because one Xavier's was a gelatinous cube, which for those of you who are Dungeons and Dragons people, like Dane and myself, we were laughing instantly. Mm-hmm. But for those who didn't know what it wasn't quite as like funny. So like that was a gamble that paid off big for me, but didn't necessarily pay off big for others. And then the little boombox I thought was awesome that Wendy did. And then John, you particularly liked the one that Chloe Mitchell had done with the pink girl that was sort of sashaying back and forth. And we each had something that we sort of gravitated toward as artists. Like, this is something that I can get into. That, just art speaks to different people in different ways. And one of my goals in picking these amazing judges was that they each have a different aesthetic that they bring to the table, to sort of like have a holistic whole around the entire thing.
I think that sometimes, I think with the broad spectrum of design points of view, we all sort of understood that everybody was coming from a different place, and we weren't sort of looking for something to look a certain way, but we would evaluate it based on the design and the overall entertainment value and the technical quality of the animation. So people may have scored fairly high on the design side, but not scored as well on the technical side. And, when you factor all those things together, these four people came out on top. And to Mike's point, things that appealed to me may have not have appealed to the other judges, where I may have scored them very high, but the other judges were in the middle. So I think we really, if you sat in the judging session with us, you would see that the four judges, we all have a unique point of view. We're all gravitating towards different things. So I don't, I'm not sure what the question is motivated by, but we certainly weren't looking for anything specific. We were hoping to be entertained by them. And that, to Mike's point, the one with the boombox was really very charming.
My daughter particularly liked that one.
Yeah.
We have another question. This might be a bigger question than we can get to, but we'll try. How did you do the 3D animation this year?
Okay, so I am a storyboard artist by trade, and I do a lot of work with Toon Boom actually, and I've been getting more and more into the 3D aspect of things, and so using the 3D layers in Storyboard Pro, I built that just out of pieces. So I had a piece of wall, had a piece of this wall, had a piece of this wall, and just arranged them in 3D, and then was able to do like a half piece, and then switch that around to make the other half. I think it really turned out well. But yeah, it's a 3D layer technology in Storyboard Pro 20, and then carrying into Harmony 21.
So Wacom has sponsored a lot of animation contests, and we keep getting more and more entrants into them. So that's been fantastic, as we've seen with a very, very full dance floor this year. We will continue to sponsor animation contests. And so judges, what I'm hoping you'll do is to offer some advice to people who want to enter a contest. And what I think is interesting is I'm sure there were people who entered the contest and did a whole bunch of very complicated work and maybe got to a point where they couldn't continue with the complicated work because the deadline was approaching. Or there are people who did very simplistic work and had really great success and did something that they were able to not stay up all night the night before doing. Can you offer a little bit of advice for people who want to create an animation and have a pressing deadline? How do you balance sort of technical, complicated stuff with, the more simplistic pieces that are easier to do? Elsa?
That's a good question. I just kind of prioritize what would be the most important factors, and kind of just focus on that, and anything, little details that could be, put towards the end, I would just, just wait on that, and then just really just try to get, just try to get something that's completed. It might not have all the nice little details you want in it, but just to get the overall finished piece done.
I think as far as a production standpoint goes, making efficient use of your time is paramount. Going into it with a plan. One of the first things that we were taught in animation school, there was a drawing on the wall that said, fail to plan, plan to fail. And with animation, that is definitely a big thing. You have to be able to not only know what you're doing going into it, like you have your idea solidified before you start animating. I mean, that's what thumbnail drawings are for, right? Like you just sort of feel out with little, done little stick drawings and go from there. Like plan it out, make sure that it's working before you go down a rabbit hole,
Well, just look at any animation pipeline and all of the different, imagine yourself as a big studio, and every component of that filmmaking process is done by a unique team. And you have to think of yourself as, I'm a storyboarder, I'm a writer, I'm a storyboard artist, I'm a pre-production artist. And you've got to Mike's point, you've got to make sure you've got everything planned out. I used to do a lot of animation in Flash, and then I was teaching people to animate in Flash. And the most important thing about Flash is make sure your library is clean. Make sure that even before you start animating, as you start to import stuff, I don't know if this is making any sense to anybody, but make sure you are organized in the beginning so that when it comes to doing the creative part, you don't have to worry about that stuff. So in the beginning, make sure you've got everything planned out.
Yeah, and I've seen you do some other things, not just Flash, but like stop motion animation and other things. And I think the planning is very evident whenever I've seen your projects, John. And actually, the only person I've never like witnessed their process firsthand here is Elsa, because she always hides behind her Cintiq and is very secretive about how she operates. I think there's secrets there that have yet to be discovered. But having seen,
do you have secrets, Elsa?
No, not really.
That's what somebody with secret techniques would say, isn't it?
I guess so. I guess you just don't come out and ask somebody if they have animation secrets.
I've looked over Dane's shoulder as he's done pencil tests. So back when we were both on The Simpsons together, and
That's
we
right.
had pencil test machines.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if anyone's going to do these contests, which I think everyone should, like I said earlier, the most complicated doesn't always necessarily mean the winning one. And actually, it's the simplest one, because especially with something like this, you only have 24 to 48 frames to work with. So the simpler, the better. So if you just, what I like to do when I approach these things is I get all my big complicated ideas out first. Like I sketch them out. I think, okay, can I really do this in the time before the deadline? And then I just scale down from there. And then from there, I'm like, okay, well, how can I make this little simple character and do just something just fun? So for those that are thinking about doing this, don't go in thinking like, oh, I need to make this super, 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 super complicated and super elaborate. No, it's simpler the better. Just as long as it's nice, simple, appealing, and make sure it's something you can handle within the deadline.
Yeah. Don't fight the frame count.
Mm-hmm.
So we have the credits. We have the full film with the actual film itself and the credits, and we've only got 5 minutes to do it. And coincidentally enough, it's 4-something minutes long. So let's see that one more time, and everybody can see who did what.
Wow, Mike, it was a work of art.
Thank you. Yeah, it wasn't just it was me. It wasn't just me. It was everybody. And again, I want to shout out to my awesome team who really knocked everything out of the park. I mean, you guys did an awesome job putting this thing together. All of the sleepless nights. I hope it was worth it. And again, thank you to everybody who contributed. We couldn't have done this without you. Congratulations to the winners. You'll be receiving emails shortly. And thanks again. And, you know, maybe we'll do it again next time.
Yes, we will. Thank you.